Hey, how you doing today? Today I'm going to be talking about a gentleman who got inducted into the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame in 1990, not 1990, but 1968, and his name's Lester Slim Haynes. So the interesting thing about Lester Slim Haynes is he's most known for pitching for the same baseball team for over 30 years, essentially, in Stavely. Originally from Washington, he brought himself into Canada after he graduated from post-secondary school in Washington State College. Uh, with that, he wanted to come up here and get away from what he says the pullout mud in an interview with the Washington Tri-City Herald. So in the winter of 1908, he married his wife and moved here from Pullman, Washington. During his post-secondary education, he played baseball throughout and was offered not only an American League but also a National League entrance to play for certain ball clubs, but he declined it to pursue farming and to raise a family. So when he moved up here, like he said, he didn't really know why he moved up here. He just wanted to get away from the Pullout's mud. Married his wife, moved up here, moved to Stavely, Alberta. So according to an article, Stavely, he pitched for his first game in Stavely after one of the residents said, "Hey, I'll drive one of your tractors if you come pitch for the local team." At first, he was sort of hesitant because he didn't really want to play baseball, but at the same time, he probably did want to play baseball. And also, this was during the time he played baseball through Stavely during the First World War and Second World War. So, not really what you think. I never really thought about that until a few days into this assignment. I was like, holy crap, like he pitched during like some of the world's worst times, worst parts of history. But that's what probably brought excitement into the community. That's probably what brought that what he brought to the field more exciting for that town. So he started pitching for Stavely in 1909 and moved all the way through until 1943 until he moved back home. He currently still holds on to the Ripley's, believe it or not, carrying an item for his 31 years with Stavely. And according to this article by Ripley's in the Syracuse Herald Journal, he had 3 shutouts in one day, which I believe got narrowed down to 2 because of the writing that happened in the journals. So, of course, Haynes was very well known for his pinpoint accuracy. He had a very good fastball that intimidated other teams. And when professional ball teams came into town, Lester Slim Haynes, my guy, would always get the better end of them every damn time. So that led to even more pro offers coming, and he still declined. He said, "No, I'm fine. I'm here. I'm gonna farm." And my grandfather's father did that when professional teams came through New Brunswick. He was scouted by the Boston Red Sox. So it wasn't unnormal for people to decline offers to turn pro to continue farming and stay with their families. And this was during a time I'm trying to think about what it would have been like during those times of staying in your country when you know there's a war going on overseas, and what's doing to communities, because of course there's sons, sisters, brothers, fathers, like these people are helping serve the country and fighting the battle to, for our country, to keep us free. So I mentioned beforehand that he had 2 shutouts in one day. So one of them was being a no hitter. So no one hit that pitch. Someone got on base, but he either walked them or got hit by a pitch. But no hitter, and then he got a shutout. The next game after that. Among Slim's achievements in Staveley, he pursued coaching in the community. He ended up finding a group of young gentlemen or young kids who loved the game of baseball, and he brought his knowledge and plus his leadership to the ball field when he was coaching them, and that led that team to go win the Southern Alberta Championships, which is also another reason why he's in the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame. It's just sort of his story and how he got to where he is still sort of unknown, because I'm looking to try and find more information about Lester Slim Haynes, and there's basically one article, and then there's one website talking about Lester Slim Haynes, and then there's the Alberta Sports Hall of Fame information about him. So it's sort of trying to put the pieces together with this guy. But I read a few from those articles. I read a little bit about him. So back to when I talked about how he pitched that first game after someone offered to ride his tractor for him. He declined being who he was because people heard about this guy. They said he had $1 million arm down when he lived in Washington, and that followed him all the way up into Alberta somehow in that day and age. So he said, "No, that's my brother," and they're like, "No, you are your brother," essentially calling him, right? So he got really frustrated with that, and at the end of the day, he couldn't hide that because people just kept going to him saying, like, "You are your brother. Just stop saying you aren't." And I just think Lester's, because I know that not a lot of people know about this guy, and it's an achievement in itself to be pitching at a high caliber for 31 years. I don't think there's gonna ever be anybody that does that again, to pitch for 31 years. It's just because the game is always getting younger and younger, and people are getting more powerful, and even in today's day and age with the MLB, like these 18, 19-year-old kids are sort of showing up and telling the older guys, like, this is how it's done now. But for him, I think it's much more bigger than baseball, because then again, like I mentioned, he pitched during the times of the First World War and then during times of the Second World War. So a lot of families probably had members of their family off overseas fighting this battle, and one of their pastimes during the summer would be going down and watching the seniors baseball. So there's a lot that goes a long way. So just trying to understand what it would have been like to live in that day and age, and to experience what the town of Staveley and Alberta would have during that time. And to finish this, aside from being into the Sports Hall of Fame, he was gifted a permanent spot in the Staveley's butt stands guards in publications with the Staveley District Historical Society. And I think Mr. Slim Haynes deserves that recognition. and this is why I brought it to life. So thank you very much.